Oh, hello, you wrong. Welcome to the Theatre of the Mind, live number 242. Literally, I open my mouth and that little fecker starts. Still alive, which was quite a surprise. No, I'm not going to tell thee. No, I'm having to have a coffee. I'm delirious tonight. Delirious. I'm double cupped tonight. There's me coffee, and there's God's own nectar. It's been a long day today, a long day. So if you hear any snoring, it's me. Just give us a prod. I was going to say give me a nudge, but knowing you, it would turn into something much more inappropriate. Yeah, wrong. The good news is we're off to see the doctor again on Thursday. They've managed to give me an appointment. So I'm going for a chest x-ray and more antibiotics. Like, you know, just give us the bloody drugs, man. So I'm here, I think. Well, it's a different shirt this evening. I did think about wearing full suit and tie for you this evening. It is seemingly Shana Tova, which means, I think, Happy New Year in Hebrew, I think. So I've had me apple and me honey today. I've had me sweetness, and now I'm having to have me bloody coffee just to keep me awake. Oh, I say. Oi, oi, oi. That was Sister Mary. She came up to me earlier. I have to say this, and I'm not speaking out of Kirk, but Sister Mary, I think my neighbours are watching now. I've remarked about that yappy little fecker from next door, and they've taken the dog in. Oh, I say, what-oh, more subscribers, what-oh. So I was just sitting there minding my own business, just kind of having a flick through me good book. Oh, I think they're killing the dog. I'm joking, of course. I'm joking. Before LSPCC and all the other, I'm joking. So yes, I had a quick. I had a quick look at my my Bible today. That's Dan Brown's Da Vinci Code, and when I was just having a flick there, minding my own business in the Starmers, and Sister Mary sidled up to me. She went, Reverend, Shana Tova. I said, what, you drunk again, Sister Mary? No, I don't, Reverend, I don't. I said, I bet you bloody do. I've seen you in the cucumber patch. You're wrong. And she said, no. I've got my big dog Dick with me. Well, seemingly, not quite sure which end of the sausage she got hold of, but she wanted to dip her dick in the honey today. I said, no, Sister Mary, you can't do that, man. You'll be upsetting the parishioners. I mean, can you imagine the honey everywhere in the pews? I mean, little dog Dick, he'll just be running amok in the body of the kirk. What we're going to do to tidy up? She said, well, we've got 3 Austrian nuns now, part of the staff, and we've got Verger, Nigel the Verger. I said, Verger or Virgin? She said, no, Verger. He's like under you. I said, he's bloody not. I'm not that kind of reverend. I said, I'm very straight and heterosexual. I do lie straight in bed, Sister Mary. And she said, well, Reverend, if my my sausage is dipped in the honey and Big Dog Dick starts running around, some of the parishioners will be able to stop him and well, lick the honey off him. I said, I'm not having anybody lick the honey off your Big Dog Dick in this the body of the kirk. Otherwise, we'll all end. Can you imagine? There'll be a knock at the door. Hello, Reverend. We understand that, well, there's been inappropriate behaviour in the body of the kirk. I said, what would you mean? Well, understandably, Sister Mary's Big Dog Dick's been dipped in some honey and everybody's licking the dick. I'm like, so Sister Mary, please, nothing inappropriate. And she said, right, okay, Reverend, we'll play a square bat. I said, speak for yourself. I just need some injections for that. And as I was saying that, the bishop spat his teeth out. And I said, hang on, Bishop, what's happened to your finger? said everybody was enjoying that a couple of weeks ago, and you seem to have hidden it. Where have you buried it? Oh, can't see, he says, can't see. And then the three bloody Austrian nuns appeared from nowhere, and they just said, now, I don't know what they'd been watching, but they just appeared in the body of the kirk and said, "Tiddy ye not?" I said, hang on, that's not bloody Austrian, is it? Translate for me. And I said, well, you can titter if you wish, but titter ye not in the body of the kirk. It's just unacceptable behaviour. So here I am on my own. Nobody's in the body of the kirk. Sister Mary's taking a big dog dick off in a huff. The Virgin Nigel is, well, I haven't seen him, so I don't know whether he's an imaginary friend of Sister Mary or whether there is actually Nigel the Virgin. The bishop, well, he's gone to find his sponge fingers, and the three Austrian nuns are looking at me menacingly. It's not the first time I've had to deal with hostile women, let me tell you. God, that's lovely. So, welcome to the body of the kirk. Welcome, ya Rogan. It's live 242. Honestly, live 250 is like 2 weeks away. So, we're looking forward to that. And if we time it correctly, it's going to be on a Sunday evening. So, it'll be, we'll have to do something special for the 250th live. But let's go to the parish notes very quickly. And Paulie Galtieri's first in the body of the kirk. What's going on? Paulie, you wet the bed again. Good evening, Adrian. You're utter wrong, and hope you've had a good day. It's been interesting, Paulie. It's not often I get to go to like 2 New Year's Day meals. I did one for the Christian New Year, and I've had, honestly, Jews and food. They know how to serve up a banquet. I mean, it's just unfair. I've literally had to be wheelbarrowed out of distant relatives' house. And the food was amazing. I mean, it's unfair. Literally, I've just eaten all their profit for the rest of the year. But it was, I have to say thank you to Natalie. It was just such a wonderful, 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 wonderful meal this afternoon. Shana Tova, and thank you for all the effort and everything that you did today. It was just simply beautiful and fantastic. And honestly, I'm from the northeast, man. I can put my scoff away, but I'm been looking like I have been looking like. See, I can't even speak now, like an amateur compared, and it was just fantastic. So thank you. It's been a long day, and now that I've had sort of the equivalent of 500 Biafrans. Food today, I'm a little slower of thought, I'm a little slower physically, well, it's not an age thing, it's just I've eaten so much fucking food today. Honestly, 50 pigs couldn't have put what I put away. Couldn't put away what I put away. Do you see? I can't even think tonight. But I do want to welcome everybody at the body of the kirk. So before we get started, there's nearly 100 people here so far. Smash the likes on your way in. And yes, please do remember to wipe your feet before you come in. Not only are we going to have mud everywhere because we're getting into autumnal weather, but we've got the little dog dick running around with honey all over it. And it's just, oh man, can you imagine the nuns and the choir boys? Mars Bar, they'll be wanting marathons next. Sorry, Twix. No, not Twix. What they call Snickers. I'm too old. And you know, we haven't even got enough in the swear box tonight, so I'm gonna have to be on my best behaviour because we haven't got enough bleach and Daz to get rid of all the malarkey. So hang on a second. Oh, I need another one of them. Hang on. You know that moment normally when you go in the pub. And it's been a hot summer's day, and you go, I'll have 2. And they go, 2? And you say, yeah, the first one is not even going to touch the sides. It's not going to wet me whistle. It's not going to touch the sides. And it's not even going to quench me thirst. It's the second one. The first one, I just need to go, waff! And it kind of disappears in 2 seconds. And it's the second one, which helps you both your thirst and quench your taste buds. So it's a bit like that tonight. I've got big coffee. And my hibiscus is going to taste lovely once I wolf this bugger down. So, being a reverend, obviously it's a Tuesday night. It's 111 watching now, so it's the appropriate place to say R.I.P. Dickie Bird. Well, people going, what do you mean, 111? Why would that be appropriate? Well, because when you get to 111, or 222, or 333 in cricket, you've got to stand on one leg. And Dickie Bird will be at the other end. I am going to tell you one of my my cricketing stories of how talented and wonderful I wasn't. My one and only time as a cricketing umpire, let me tell you. But my best bowling, I was crap with the bat. I just flash hard. But my best bowling figures, 5 for 5 of 2 overs. Even Ian Botham couldn't match that. Anyway, Des Ashton Battenberg at the ready. Curiosity ready. Ears ready. Eyes open. Mouth closed. See all. Say now, Des. Know what I mean. Welcome to the body of the Kirk, Des. David Graham says, get rid of the Battenberg and replace it with chocolate cake instead. David, type 2 diabetes, change it with chocolate. Mind you, I shouldn't be eating the Battenberg in the first place. Oh, don't tell the doctor. David also says, by the way, R.I.P. Harold Dickie Bird, the legendary former English cricket umpire who has died today, aged 92. So, Bales for Dickie Bird. Anybody who's played cricket knows what I'm talking about. You say bails at the end of the match. You take the bails off the stumps, and that is bails. Karen Boo, hello everyone. What's on tonight, Rev? Oh, we've got a bit, but I've got more questions tonight. I want to sit rep. So today, in amongst everything else, I've been doing a bit of research on some deep dives. They're coming tomorrow night. But I have got some stuff to talk about tonight. You know me, nearly 250 in, 242 in. That's over 500 hours worth of lives. Yeah, wrong. So, for Karen Boo, welcome to the body of the Kirk. Just remember the Starmers are a bit hard on your derriere, so there's some piles cushions over there. And it's getting a bit cold, so Sister Mary has acquiesced. And she's got some blankets out. Battenberg's been sliced. The urn is bubbling away for hot water, just in case you need a coffee or something a little stronger, cup of builders. And the altar wine, well, that's chilling, baby. So welcome, Karen Boo. Welcome to the body of the Kirk as ever. Same to David Graham. Every roundabout in England should be painted red and white. I think we should paint the faces of all the politicians red and white, obviously with their consent. What time? Not saying anything else. Oh, that's just massaging my vocal cords. Lovely. Control Alt Delete. Hello. 'Tis I. Leclerc. Is that chocolate, Leclerc? Control Alt Delete. Watch out, because David Graham fancies a bit of chocolate thingy, I think. So welcome, Control Alt Delete. Welcome to the body of the Kirk. Apparently blown apart, as Ian Hunter of Mott the Hoople once says. Mott the Hoople. Wasn't that the most famous album picture, was him and his hair? I mean, it was just fantastic. But all the young dudes, man. So Napoleon Blown Apart says, as Ian Hunter of Mott the Hoople once said, hello, yeah, utter or something along those lines, in Once Bitten, Twice Shy, and yes, I'm old, so what? Napoleon Blown Apart, you're only as old as the woman you feel. Is that the right saying? And stop laughing, Napoleon Blown Apart, you'll get us both into trouble. And, well, there's nothing wrong with a bit of Mott the Hoople. David Bowie produced all the young dudes. Oh. Shite. I was meant to do something. How can we get around this? Can't. Bugger. Right, we've got a musical thing for tomorrow night. I was meant to do it tonight, and it's been an insanely busy day. And it was all to do with... do you know about the Rapture on New Year's Day? The Rapture? I might have to tell you a little story about it tomorrow, but we're going to do something tomorrow, musically. Because I wanted to do it tonight, and it's on that bloody thing there, me phone. so I can't get at it. Thank you, Napoleon Blown Apart. Mad Matt UK. Welcome to the body of the Kurt, Mad Matt. Good evening, Rev. Good evening, everyone. Tonight's treat is, oh, man. Oh, Mad Matt, you tart. Cheese scones and a pint of Bishop's Finger. Are the cheese scones still warm? Food porn. There's nothing better than... Oh, man, honestly. In fact, I was going to ask a question last night. I might ask it tonight. But Mad Matt UK, I'm round your house in 10 minutes. Warm cheese scones and a pint of a Bishop's Finger. Oi, 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 oi. Lovely. Mind you, it depends what you're putting in the cheese scones other than cheese. It might have to be, well, quenchable lager. Lager. Or altar wine, as it's normally known as my house. If I can get away with it, I'll have another pint and a half of altar wine. And they say to me, Reverend, are you sure? More tea vigour? No, just bring the lager. And would you like some in your tea vigour? No, bugger off, just give me the falling down water, I need it. Andy B says, welcome Mad Mate UK, welcome to the body of the Kirk. Andy B says, evening Reverend all. A chilly 4 degrees this morning. A chilly 4 degrees this morning in Kent. Is that one more than the 3 degrees, Andy B? And what were you doing with the 3 degrees in Kent this morning? Yeah, utter wrongin'. I bet Sheila Ferguson's got something to say about that. Tom Harney's evening, everyone. As a wrongin' philosopher once said, I will recognise the independent state of Battenberg, God bless it, and all who sail in it. Well, Phil the Greek was a Battenberger, wasn't he? So, and he was a rum bum and backy boy. He was the Royal Navy. So I think Phil the Greek would have been up for a slice of Battenberg or 3 or whatever came with the Battenberg and the altar wine and the 3 Austrian nuns. Mind you, from what I've read in Kitty Kelly's Royals, you might have taken them all on. Stop, Adrian. Stop. The poor guy's dead, man. So please smash the likes on your way in. Yeah, wrongin'. Let's get to more of your comments before we get to Cuban Pete. Will Fergie lose her title? What, is she heavyweight champion of the world or something? She took a battering in the... Well, she's had a toe suck, so if she's had a battering in the ring, who knows? She's probably a very good boxer and rapper. I said a hip hop, the hippie to the hippie to the hip hip hobby. You don't stop rocking to the bam bam boogie. Up, jump the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to be, mate. I have no idea, Cuban Pete, but you'll get me into trouble tonight. David Graham says, evening, Adrian, from a lovely cold night in Sunderland and and the 5 weeks time until the clocks go back 1 hour. Spring forward, fall back. Random Jack says, funny, I gave a curry to a friend and said, I can have these, they're low carb. She asked if I was okay. It has all natural ingredients and is as much like any other great Indian I've had. Random Jack, you mucky tart. Soul Rebel, even the word tour sounds creepy to my luggles. Soul Rebel, I think you've been traumatised by too many appearances in the body of the Kirk and Sister Mary and a big dog Dick. So we will look after you. We'll support you through this. If you've been traumatised, which sounds like you have, then we'll have the 3 Austrian nuns have a word with you. Remember, put your boxing gloves on. No, not for boxing, just to stop you from doing whatever you've been doing to make your eyes go wobbly. Les Griffiths says, Fergie is about to be ostracised by the Royals. Mike's Alligators, no. Oh, can you resend it? No, I didn't. Interesting. But thank you, Mike's Alligators. Oh, what's going on here? How many people's... Cuban Pete says, I see you. Isn't she the Duchess of Pork? Sorry, my eyesight's gone. Paulie Galtieri. Yeah, Dougie's Flying Monkeys are very committed to the bend over field. That's very funny. That is very funny. I'm nearly finished my coffee, so you can tell I'm off me tits now. David Graham says, Trump attacking the United Nations today in New York was funny to watch. I have a theory about Donald Trump. I believe he's dyslexic. So whenever he goes onto a podium, they don't know what he's going to say. Because normally, like, you know, President Brown trousers, or shitty pants, if you will, Brown Biden, there's you know, George. Which side of the stage am I supposed to leave? Bush, you know him. He's they all come across as old duffers, don't they? They're anything but old duffers. They're pretty sharp, and I would say that they can't. And the reason why I say I believe that Donald Trump is dyslexic is at the royal dinner last week when he had to say nice things about Prince Charles. He was right. Oh, have I got my reading glasses on? Melania, have I left me reading glasses in me hotel bedroom? You mean Windsor Castle bedroom? Whatever. Can you just pop along and get me reading glasses? Donald, darling, we have staff for that. Don't ask me to go and do it, you're wrong. Up yours. Shove your Battenberg where the sun don't shine. Oh, again, darling? We let the public know that we do that. The Donald was trying to read, seemingly, this, hello, Majesty. Yes, it's brilliant. It's the best day of my life ever. Donald, I told you about that. You're supposed to see me second after the birth of Baron. Oh, sorry, Melania. Shh, I'm just talking to the king, man. Shh. Your Majesty, and I'm pausing a lot here simply because I can't read. Where's me glasses, man? Where's me reading? Melania, get me reading glasses, man. You know where they are. They're probably my side of the bed. We're not sleeping in the same room, Donald. Are we not? Oh, it's because I'm not wearing my glasses. So hang on, Your Majesty. Oh, how do we enshrine? Right, what was I saying? Yes, so he does it off the cuff. Speaking before you say anything. He always does it off the cuff. I mean, he's got an insane memory. And people that are either dyslexic or are enumerate, if you wish, or they can't kind of read a script, they have to memorize it, and they're brilliant. They have insanely brilliant memories. And I believe that the Donald can't read properly. Doesn't have to. With all the money he's got, he gets people to do it for him. So have you noticed how when he was doing these, he was signing stuff and saying, right, what does that say? And somebody would have to give a little speech about what he's just signed. The executive orders. The other person would do the speech, he wouldn't do it. And I thought, aye, what's going on here? And then at the royal speech last week, he was, oh, I can't bloody read this, man. Who wrote this? Right, you should have put it in bigger font or typeface or whatever. And I thought, hang on a second. He's dyslexic. He can't read. He can write, because he can write his own name. Ish. So, and also Control Alt Delete, thank you for your support as ever. And have you noticed how when the Donald does any kind of tweets or Truth Social or posts or anything, he doesn't write them. He has somebody there that writes them for him. So why would he do that? Maybe he has mild dyslexia and he can't spell and words just become jumbled with him. So he memorises it. It's all up here. That's why he can do 5D chess. Because he's brilliant. If you can't read or have trouble putting sentences together or they get jumbled up, I reckon you're a genius. Because you're going through life without anybody working that out. And the Donald, 5D chess, nobody's worked it out. He's a genius, that boy. And anybody else that's dyslexic, I tip my hat to you. You've got to be a genius to go through life without anybody working it out. Brilliant, wonderful, fabulous. So, right, let's get to the bottom. Control or delete, thank you. Hang on, Donald Trump was undressing at the NU today. Says Des Ashton. Was he getting his kid off? The Donald? I mean, hang on, pass the magnifying glass. So Rebel says, getting feisty in Netherlands and Italy too. Europe's heading for fire. That's what they want. That's what they're after. So I'm going to ask you a question. I'm not even going to give you the answer. Who would be behind Europe burning down? And what would be their intention? What outcome do they want? Is it a race war? Hang on, who said one? Cuban Pete, he was spot on about Khan, though. Yeah, I agree completely. Fabians, all of them. Not Trump, obviously. Anyone who says Khan is a knob gets my vote. Brilliant, Rusty's Roamings. We are going to ask a similar question once we get into the live tonight, because I've got loads of questions to ask you. Again, I just want to get the zeitgeist. I just want to get where you're at, roughly. Control-Alt-Delete. Bilderberg, one world government. Well, they're going to try. Random Jack says something very deep and prescient. Random Jack says, I don't know, I just want it to end. And I agree with you. Because I'm sure the audience in the body of the Kirk, sorry, the parishioners in the body of the Kirk this evening, Les, all roads lead to Matthew Whedon, the World Economic Forum. So when Hitler was being wholly inappropriate, one, he went after the Jews for the money, and two, he went after the Freemasons for the power. And that's never talked about. 5 million gypsies, travellers if you wish. Oh, wow. Man found guilty of attempting to assassinate President Trump on Florida golf course. Oops. That'll be him before a firing squad then. So, all the globalists, as Andrew James is saying, Hitler knew where everything was. He compartmentalised everything and knew where the money was, where the power was. He went after the travellers. Nobody talks about the 12 million Russians that died. We're always told about the 6 million Jews. We're not talking about, we never talk about the 5 million gypsies. We never talk about the persecution of the Freemasons in Germany, not the Illuminati. I mean, that's just a byword. You're meant to be distracted by that. The Illuminati, yes, they did exist. And did they have their own, what's it called? Come on. Ritual. So the Illuminati, and there is a book out there that you can buy with the Illuminati's ritual in it. So don't say you can't get the information because you can. But a lot of lazy people just won't buy the book or read the book. European art treasures stolen, Vixtex. I know, they still haven't gotten some of them back. What Hungary did to their gypsies was unforgivable. But Rusty's Roamings, you have to keep an eye on Hungary. I'll say it again at the beginning of the live before we even get into the real nitty-gritty of stuff. You have to keep an eye on these countries because everything that is going to happen from here on in will involve all of these countries because they want these countries under the banner of a one world government. And the one world government will be communist or Marxist or socialist, whichever way you want to deem it. It'll be under the control of BRICS, which include Russia and China. Chinese Communist Party rule the world at the minute, not the Donald, not America. That's why he's trying to pull them away from it, because he wants to make America great again and not the Chinese. Control-Alt-Delete says, I think both world wars were created to destroy any remnants of the old world Tartaria. The Khazarians, Tartaria. And have you noticed how World War I started after, the assassination of Grand Duke Ferdinand? Loved their music. So it started after someone got shot. It all kicked off. And then Second World War, it all kicked off because, well, look, Germany were wholly inappropriate. And who was the only country there on the first day of World War II and on the last day of World War II? I'll tell you, the best fighting force in the world, bar none, us. So we were there World War II, first day. We were there World War II, last day. Fucking Americans. All they made was money. Fight. Honestly. What, you don't believe me? The Americans think they're John Wayne. The Americans can sit behind computers, fly drones, and just open fire on anybody and go, whoa, well, oops, I was on speed, Your Honour. Ask anybody in the American Air Force. Oh, we're going on a jolly this evening. Take one of those. Keep you awake for a while. So, sorry, what I was going to say, and I'll reiterate this. I will reiterate. If you've heard me a dozen times say this, I'll say it another dozen times, because there's new people coming to the body of the Kirk all of the time, and I want them to get that particular knowledge and understanding. So let's go to the 6 countries that are left in a little cabal of central banks that the Rothschilds don't own. They include Venezuela, Hungary, North Korea, Iran, Russia, China. I mean, Syria, kind of, but they've now got the central bank in Syria. So I don't think there's anybody left, is there? No. But at the moment, if you look at what all the reportages are about, oh, bloody Venezuela, one of the biggest oil-producing countries in the world ever in South America, little Venezuela, right at the top of South America, near Colombia. Shall we start marching? And you've got Hungary. Now, nobody knows why Hungary is doing what they're... Because they've got a shit ton of old money. They've got it in their central bank. That's why they're not giving anything away. They're not going to fritter it away. Europe wants to go to war. Bye-bye. Good luck. We're not playing ball. We're just keeping our central banks. Thank you very much. And then you've got Russia and China. So, do you think the Ukrainians are going to beat Russia and get hold of their central bank? Don't be so getting stupid. It's all about energy independence. It's all about the gas and the oil. Russia's got Crimea. Crimea's on the edge of the Black Sea. They're going to drill, baby, drill. And if you look at the Caspian Sea, 9/11, within a couple of weeks, drill, baby, drill. And Venezuela, one of the biggest oil-producing countries in the world ever, on planet Earth, in fact, in the universe. Drill, baby, drill. So now you know why they're after it, because they'll have all the black gold and the gas. So... everything is a banker's war. Everything. And if the banks own the money, well, the fiat money at the moment, and just wait till you can't get your money out your bank, because you've got this digital ID coming that's going to go, hey, no, your name's not down and you're not coming in. Hang on a second. I've got £500 in my bank account. I want that. Oh, sorry. No, can't prove who you are. So the state will take that as appropriate taxes. What, you don't think that's going to happen? Stay with me, baby. So, to the body of the Kirk, a lively start. In the sermon this evening, we're going to talk about Christian Bruckner. Who? Well, he's the suspect. We're going to talk about the Royals. Oh, I say. We're going to talk about Dickie Bird. We're going to talk about Charlie Kirk-ish. Going to talk about Trump and his UN speech. He was a bit delirious. Now, we can't say, well, he was on the old falling down juice, because he doesn't drink the falling down juice. He just drinks non-alcoholic falling down juice. We'll talk about law and disorder, because there's loads of that. We'll talk about digital ID, and we'll just kind of talk about stuff that needs to be talked about, because either nobody else is talking about, or they're not intelligent to talk about it, enough to talk about it. But Alan says, there's Ashton Fart if you want to go faster. Didn't we use that last week? Alan says, our typhoons from Coningsby flying missions over Poland, as if Poland needs our help. Well, oops, as I said last night, Alan, Poland said, yeah, the Russians, they're coming over, they're flying drones over in Poland, and we're not having it. And then Poland went very quiet and went, sorry, it was one of ours. And everybody turned around and went, what? You said that Russia was flying drones over Poland? Yeah. It wasn't the Russians. Who was it? China. Who was it? One World Order. Was it Trump? Was it the CIA? No, it was one of ours. We pressed the wrong button. So it wasn't Russia? No. China? No. Trump? No. CIA? No. It was you. Yeah. Sorry, Lance. So Christian Stuart says Trump drinks a lot of Diet Coke. He would do, wouldn't he? Random Jack. I watched Charlie's wife's speech only briefly, but it was too staged. Concur. So I'm going to give you, if you don't mind, we'll kind of ditch the Beckham watch and we'll do Kirk watch, but not this Kirk, body of the Kirk. We'll do Charlie or Erica Kirk watch because it just stinks. But I'll get to that in a second. Do you want to talk Madeleine McCann? Shall we? Because I think it's all about to kick off. I think we're all about to find out the truth-ish. So let me tell you something. In the newspapers today, Christian Bruckner. Now, for some inexplicable reason, no, not Captain Kirk, Random Jack. So, for some inexplicable reason, when the newspapers are kind of reporting online, they cross out his name, redact his name. And I thought, why are they doing that? Because he's an innocent man. Not wholly innocent, as in his track record, Christian Bruckner, because he was jailed for something wholly inappropriate. But I just thought, again, you see, the old world narratives that they used to use to go to war, they can't do that anymore because we're not believing them. So they can't go, oh, look at this, the bloody Argies, they've invaded the Falkland Islands. Maggie, don't worry, lads, we'll be down there in a couple of weeks and we're going to kick your arse off, says the Argentinians. 2 days in, oh, Malvinas, no, we surrender, we surrender, we surrender. I've had people that fought in the Falklands and had Argentinians on the end of their bayonet where they were shouting madre, madre, that's mother, mother, just before the person that was on my phone in stuck the bayonet in them a few times just to make sure that they were unalived. It's called war, baby. And the bloody little Argies, oh yeah, Malvinas, Malvinas. Well, go off. Told you. We're the best fighting force in the world, bar none. The Russians are pretty tasty, but the minute they come up against us, because we never quit. As the Argentinians found out. And how did General Galtieri inspect his air force? Through a glass-bottom boat. Because we took care of business. Obviously, we sent the specials in first. Yeah, so it's all about they can't use the usual tropes to wind us up. And this has all come from the jibber jabber in March 2020. Oh, 4 to 6 weeks to flatten the curve. 2 years later, it's like, hang on, you wrong'un, you blonde-haired buffoon. Clowning Street. Oi, sort this out. By which time they'd had a massive wealth transfer. So you didn't see it. But this has happened ad nauseum for bloody decades and decades and decades. They tell you one thing so that you believe it. It's this moral indignation. Oh, I say, let's go to war. Well, let's not. Because I'm telling you this. Starmer is saying, whoa, we're going to have boots on the ground. Well, his son and daughter are of an age where they can go to war. So, to the idiot in Clowning Street, just a little advice from us and me as Reverend Adrian Allen and the parishioners of the body of the Kirk. You first. If you're putting boots on the ground, go and have a word with Lady Starmer. It's New Year today. Shanatava. He knows what I'm saying, and so does she. And their kids. If they're going to ask you to have your kids or your grandkids on boots on the ground in Ukraine, right, mate, yours are first. And oh, do you know all those other moronic people in the Ozempic Palace? They can be told, let's have your kids, basic training, catterick, 6 weeks. There's your gun. There's your uniform. We're going to fly you out to Ukraine and you're going on the front line. So we'll have the MPs' kids and grandkids first. the Prime Minister's kids first, before he asks anybody else to sacrifice their children or grandchildren in any theatre anywhere in the world. We're going to put boots on the ground, are we? Really, Prime Minister? Your kids first. We want to see it. Not we want to see it on the evening news, because we know you'd lie, they'd lie, everybody'd lie. So no, we just want somebody, we want a YouTuber on the front line that's there with your kids, interviewing them and sticking it up on YouTube. No, we don't believe you. We know you lie. We know you lie repeatedly. You're a pathological liar. So, your kids first. Let's see who's got the biggest kahunas. So, Christian Bruckner. He said, and I quote, in the newspapers today, I can solve the scandal of the century. Ooh. Well, Christian, mate, you're the main suspect according to the newspapers, but we know that the newspapers lie. They are agenda-driven. They lie. So if you know or have the answer to the scandal of the century, which one would that be? First name begins with an M. Second name begins with an M. Not Meghan Markle before you start. So, he's been released from serving sentences for other stuff. Very inappropriate stuff. He's not a nice man at all. Let me just put that line in the sand there. But he's the main suspect. And he wasn't arrested when he left jail. Because nobody's charging him for anything. And he's been the main suspect for how long? 8 years? So if he's been the main suspect, that's Christian Bruckner, according to the newspapers, he's the main suspect. Why hasn't he been charged? Because the newspapers are lying. They're lying. They're lying out of their tiny little derriere. 50p sixpence, 50p sixpence. They're lying. Oh my God, they're lying. He's not the main suspect. To the Germans, shut your mouth, arrest him and charge him. And the Met, oh, lads, here, I know you're on a bit of a jolly. It's been going 8 years, and how far forward are you? You're not. We know that. So, charge him. Shut up and charge him. And whatever you've got, charge him. He's not a suspect. Charge him. Then he becomes then he's no longer a suspect. He's the accused. 8 years down the line, you can't find a body, no murder. But Bruckner reckons he can solve the scandal of the century. Oh, I say, he's going to be unalived quicker than Jeffrey Epstein. At least Jeffrey Epstein had 30-odd days inside to get used to the fitting of the clothes and the food. But I'll ask you this question. It's not a question I want you to answer. It's rhetorical. I can't even... This subject winds me the foxtrot up. Because remember, the more they tell you the lie, the more people start believing it. So if it's in the newspapers every day, he's the main suspect, he's the main suspect, he's the main suspect. People go, he's the main suspect. I come on here and tell you he's the main suspect. But I only do that for reference. I don't actually mean that he's the main suspect. I'm talking about lying newspapers. I've told you before, don't believe a single typed word in any newspaper anywhere in the world. The only thing that you can believe is the price on the front of a newspaper, because they never, ever, ever get that wrong. It's like Sky News. The tagline for Sky News, or in my house, is never wrong for long. They would just rather publish first, never wrong for long. And Christian Bruckner, I can solve the scandal of the century. We know what that is. Where's Madeleine? What does he know? And if he knows what I think he knows, he's going to be taken out. Oh, look, it's not Hollywood. It's not in the films. It's not anywhere. That boy is going to be unalived, and they can say, oh, dear, in a car crash, in a helicopter flight. His plane was downed. He was just going on holiday and he died before he got to Spain. Oh dear, how sad. Never mind. He was the main suspect. He must have been guilty. So the guilt goes with him. And who walks away wholly innocent? Correct. So if Christian Bruckner is watching this, guten Abend. Christian, do you want to come on the channel? I mean, I'd ask really gentle questions like, who do you think abducted Madeleine? Was it you? 9. Right? If it wasn't you, who was it then? And that's the question. We know. And let me tell you, just for your understanding, if a parent leaves a child alone, the parent should be prosecuted for leaving those children alone. If it had been somebody from a council estate, their arses wouldn't have touched the ground. They would be in jail by now. Child abuse, dereliction of duty, however you want to term it. But because these two were doctors, and they're still, well, she's not, he is. Let me tell you something. Christian Bruckner would never have been a suspect if they'd not left their children alone in the apartment. So why would parents do that? I mean, some people have promulgated a theory that little Madeleine was drugged, so she would be quiet with the children, and she fell off the sofa and either bashed her head or, sadly, came some kind of cropper. But then they would have to get rid of the body. But the cadaver dog, the dog that went in that can smell death behind the sofa, identified that the apartment had had death in it. And they're saying that Christian Bruckner is the main suspect. And he's now saying, well, I can solve the scandal of the century. So I would suggest to you that there are people that are shitting themselves. I wonder what truths he knows and which newspaper is going to pay him for his story. Because he can do it in Germany if he wants it. He can do it in German if he wants. But either way, he knows something that other people don't want coming out. So he can just say, right, pay up. BD Cool says, and in their rental car. BD Cool, welcome to the body of the Kirk. So I reckon that whatever Christian Bruckner knows is too powerful for some other people. Band again says, Maddie's dad's an anaesthetist. Is he? I thought his wife was a GP. I'm not quite sure what he is, but he's been working for 8 years since they come back. Aguido played centre forward for Man City, seemingly. What's Rusty said now? One of the Tapa 7 had been reported for possible PDF links. Really, echoes Bunny Woman. I mean, it's a theory that I'd kind of heard, but not heard, if that makes any sense. Because there were so many theories at the time, a bit like Charlie Kirk at the moment. BD Cool, glad to be here, Adrian. BD Cool, most welcome. Any newbie in the comments or in the body of the Kirk, I always pop their cherry, if you know what I mean. Maddie's dad is a heart surgeon. Pauline Makepeace says he's a heart doctor. I'm aware of that, David. Sub judice, so we can't talk about it. Best not comment about it either. And I'm saying that to protect you as much as me, because if I don't react to anything that's said in the comments, then it's not my responsibility. It's the person that posts it responsibility. And because it's under a judge, in Latin, sub judice, under the judge, it means that it might queer any possible trial. And this is just in general terms. So rather than pass comment or opinion, some people would say free speech. Well, the judge wouldn't take kindly to that particular kind of free speech. So let's just leave it until it reaches its conclusion. And as we do here on Theatre of the Mind, we do talk about stuff, but once we can talk ad nauseum about stuff once the judge and the jury and the court process is complete. Paul Galtieri, I agree. Amalia, so we can't say anything at all about it. Correct. You can talk about, in general terms, law. You can talk about other things that have happened prior to this, but you can't, under any circumstances whatsoever, talk about a case that someone has been charged with, because it is sub judice. And the judge, and again, I'll tell you this little story. Somebody at Rock FM was talking about Harold Shipman, and somebody on air was like, he's as guilty as hell, guilty as hell. This is just before the trial. I mean, Shipman didn't get to trial. But they dragged the presenter from Rock FM into the court and said, you are a hair's breadth away from going to jail. Your stupidity and your naivety has gotten you to this court. And as the presiding judge over this court case, I'm not going to send you away because I think it was your naivety that brought you to do that. And they were within a hair's breadth of serving time. So the reason why I continually mention sub judice, Amalia, and cases and where you can and can't comment is to protect you. That's why I won't. Now, some news organisations, the newspapers particularly, when someone's arrested, whether they're charged or not, the press will normally back away and just report on what goes on in the court. And we've had, over the past 5 years, we've had loads of those where people have been taken to court, some very high-profile people, and the press have backed away. Hugh Edwards, Russell Brand, they've backed away at the point they've been arrested, rather than wait until they've been charged, because they don't want suing by very powerful people, and they don't want to be in front. The editor would go in front of the judge, not the reporter, the editor, because the sub, see what I did there? So the sub-editor and main editor would end up in front of the judge. Band again says, you can say some people say, i.e. me, just some people. No. Once it's sub judice, you can't comment at all. I mean, if you want to go to jail, try it, by all means. But under a judge means if the judge becomes aware of anything that you're saying that may queer the process of law, well, it's my opinion. No, it's the process of law. And you can't queer that particular pitch. Rusty's Roamings Paz has done a video about the situation. Yeah, I've seen it. Paz and I are in contact. I have seen the video, and he is very clever. He steers away from the sub judice law. He steered away from it, which is very clever and good on him. But it's in general terms. So you can talk about Katie if you wish, but it's in general terms, not about this case. Because a woman or man is innocent until proven guilty. Innocent, presumed innocent until proven guilty. And it's that process of law that the judge has to make sure is correct. You can comment, you can't speculate. Let's say she was charged for that. You can't speculate what caused the actual offence, nor to whom. Correct. So it's you're querying that you are affecting. Let me just think of the. So whatever you say, and however you say it, cannot prejudice the outcome of the trial. And if it does, under a judge, the judge has the power to put you in jail. a month, 2 months. I mean, look at Lucy Connolly. She just posted a tweet and got 31 months. So can you imagine if you were trying to be clever, like some other social commentators on YouTube, trying to be clever and sail close to the wind? I wouldn't want that for you, because there's been other people on YouTube that have been nicked, lifted and charged. So Rebel, did I buffer there? Actually, I'm giving wise counsel. So not quite sure why. Amalia is pretty close to Terry. Best not to mention it at all. These days, you can't see anything about anything. You can, Amalia, but it's in the interpretation of that. So say you have license conditions, and the license conditions are good behaviour. But then separately, you have restrictions. And I'm just talking in general terms here. You have restrictions that a judge has imposed on you for life at your trial. And you try to, in all but names, you say everything so that your audience knows who you're talking about, but you don't actually mention them. Well, then those restrictions kick in. The press will leave it at somebody being charged, because they've got to allow the process of law to take place. Get a defendant. In the current climate, it's not worth the risk of potentially prejudicing a future trial. Correct, Ghetto defendant. Stephen Hall, you did buffer, did I really? Lionel Layton, yes, Pauline, and we felt safe. Hang on. Really, Random Jack, you can't even put words like fart in online Scrabble now. So frustrating. Oh, Scrabble. It's only really good when you can do the swear words. Right, let's get back to what I was talking about, which was Christian Bruckner. So I wanted to just say to you, hang on, let me just take a, that we now have an impasse where the elite tend to do their communication through the daily newspapers. Oh, if only that had been something like... Because when I go on my new set of antibiotics, I can't drink. Baka. Not that I'm a drinker, you understand. Yeah, Gary Chabot is saying, oh, come on, smash the likes, you wrong'uns. We've got almost 200 people watching, and you're not smashing the likes. Maybe I'm shite. Maybe that's why. But if I'm not, if you like the value that I'm bringing to your knowledge, then smash the likes, please, because it costs an out and it means a lot to the channel and the algorithm. So Madeline disappeared in 2007. If I got chance to interview Christian Bruckner, and I haven't got any money, so he probably would turn it down, I would ask him who he thinks abducted Madeline. And is this scandal of the century the disappearance of Madeleine McCann? And how can you solve it? But look, I'll reiterate this point. Madeleine McCann disappeared in 2007, 18 years ago. And the newspapers are saying we have a main suspect. Charge him. Because for the newspapers to say he is the main suspect, they must have evidence that would convict him in a court of law. And if that is so, it's down to the state. Where the Portuguese state, the Met, what are they going to do? On a jolly. The Germans, what are they going to do? Somebody somewhere has to take primacy in this particular case. And if they have the evidence, charge him. If they haven't got the evidence, then shut the up. So let's watch that. Because they'll just go, again, they'll just say, main suspect, main suspect, main suspect. It's a drip, 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 drip effect. They're lying. He's not the main suspect. He might know something, in which case he's the main witness, not the main suspect. Shall we very quickly talk about the royals? Because I do believe there is an agenda going on here. So I'll ask you the question. In fact, hang on a second. I've got so many questions tonight. Let's ask a couple of questions. Right. Remember how you vote. 1 for yes, Agincourt, 2 for no, both bowing fingers, and 3, don't know. So my first question this evening for you is this. 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. Would you be more likely to vote for your local MP if they supported mass deportation? Forget party politics, just your local MP. And if anybody was standing in your locale, would you be more likely to vote for your prospective MP if they supported mass deportation? 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. Wow. Good to see you, Hayden. Everybody. Legalista, Frida Holworth, Beata, Amalia, Adam, Whale, Simon Simons, I see you, Tocker69, Barry Wright, Lily Bell, JK, Lily Bell, I think I might not have popped your cherry before, Gary Shabot, Soul Rebel, Nathan Diamond, Elliot, all ones, all absolutely yes. And Les Griffiths, nail on the head, it's the only thing that would get me to vote. Don Wigley's not sure. So Terry's willing to die on this particular hill. Laird Wookfit says, when you say mass deportation, what limits? Well, let's just take the parameters that Nigel Farage has said today in the newspapers. Yeah, it'll save us 230 billion. So he's just like, if you're not supposed to be here, you're gone. That's the parameters. If you're not supposed to be here and you're here illegally, you're gone. Dave Johnson, fuck yeah. Adrian, I know why the parents got away with it in the media. 2 words. Correct, Dom. Yeah, correct. They put a lot of store by position and job and perception. We've got a few people. Hang on, Nicholas. Errol Musk, do a bit digging. Wow. Really? Elon's dad? Pre-1997, my local MP is Starmerite, a.k.a. Gobshite, says Neil Cunningham. Andrew James goes even further. Bring back capital punishment for scrubbing. Depends what kind of apples you're going to nick. Our local MPs and councillors are all idiots, out for themselves and not the people. That's why the political process, I've said it many times, the political process is dead. It's finished, it's over. The parasitical classes, they're there for the power, they're there for the money. The Ozempic Palace is awash with money, awash with the spondulics. And they all have that in the money trough. They're all trying to become multimillionaires. David Graham says, when they said 3 were deported on GB News a few days ago, it should have been 30,000 or 3 million. The other thing is that they're saying, oh, well, we sent 3 back in one day. The other day, there was 1,000 came into this country. And the other day, this weekend, an Iraqi terrorist got into this country, but thankfully was arrested. You're not reading that anywhere in the mainstream media. And my source is impeccable. Impeccable. So what they're doing with the Iraqi terrorists then? What about the Afghanistanis, the Taliban? I've told you before, the really simple grift for the Taliban to make money is this. Send the lads over, and the lads come across, and they start getting a shit ton of benefits and stuff, and they send money back to the Taliban, and then they get caught, and they sent back, so the Taliban send some others across. It's money earning Mount Vernon, man. They're all at it. So are our politicians taking kickbacks? A question that rises easily to the tongue. I'm not speaking out of school. I'm not casting any aspersions or castigating any of our MPs. But it just does seem like if I was the Taliban and I wanted to make some money for, I don't know, coke and whores and a nice new car, I would just go, right, get a couple of thousand of the lads together. Just tell them they won't have to fight with AK-47s and guns. Tell them that we just want them to go across to Great Britain and they'll be given loads of money. We'll kind of put them up in houses, and all they've got to do is just sit there and collect their dole, collect their money, collect their benefits, and just send it back here. Easy. Easy. And because it's costing us billions, there's a shit ton of money in it for the Taliban. I mean, oh, hey, man, get with the programme. Les Griffith says, Begum is still in the camp in Syria. I saw a kind of interview today with Shamima Begum, and she was asked to interview, I think it was the Express, she was asked to be interviewed. She went along just to see what was said, and there was a couple of questions asked of her, and she was just like, oh, I'm not staying for this, man. And now they're saying, oh, well, you know, with the Labour Party in, she might be coming back to this country. So I'm going to ask you another question. 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. Shamima Begum, would you allow her back into this country? The ISIS bride, left at 15-year-old, knew what she was doing, knocking kids out with terrorists, and now she's in a camp in Syria. Yeah, she had a boat to catch. Would you allow her back? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Fred Barker would let her back. Most people are saying no. Nathan Diamond would say yes. What you want to promise, Nathan? And I heard Hookie is trying to return. Is he? For benefits. So a lot of people are saying no. Shamima Begum, should she be allowed into this country? 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 I don't know. So taking a lot of people, Phil Levan, Carl Shaw, Fred Barker, Legalista, Gary Shabot, Nathan Diamond, everybody's saying no, apart from the odd 1 or 2. So I would say there's over 90% saying no. Terry Wookfit, she isn't a British citizen, so why should we let her back? Correct. But TMG says Foxtrot Oscar. Vixtex says she has a piss poor attitude. I agree with you, Vixtex. But here's the thing. 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. If Shamima Begum was allowed back into this country, would you fear for her safety? 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. Les Griffith says, hang on. British fair play. Let her back if she swims across the channel holding an anvil. Very good, Les. BD Cool says, it would be like the fat controller letting Diesel back on the Isle of Sodor so he can radicalise the trucks. Very deep. Rusty's Roamings. She was just a kid and she was groomed online. But she has a very, as Vixtech says, she's got a very piss-poor attitude now. But if you would let her back in, 1 for yes, 2 for no, and would she be at... Terry Wookford makes a very good point. I would fear for other people's safety. You can't retrain a mad dog. Not that we're calling Shamima Begum a dog, you understand. Get her defended if she comes back. It sets a dangerous precedence. Pauline Makepeace, no flies on you. She could be given a new identity. Oh, can you? No. Well, yes, they might try that and put her like somewhere like Whitby or somewhere in the northeast, maybe up Cullercoats, or maybe in the northeast coast, or somewhere on the northwest coast. But you know something? People work it out. They do work it out. Amalia also makes a great point. I was a kid once and I knew right from flipping wrong. We do. 15-year-old. You just want to go off and shag a terrorist. A Dutch one at that. And then knock 3 kids out. Oh, they've all died. Oh dear, how sad. Never mind. So she loses 3 kids. She's not got any more. And she wants to come back. I mean, is she still shagging terrorists? I mean, she's 25 now. 25. Bloody hell. Be like chucking a chipolata up the Mersey Tunnel. McCann's had great help with Clarence Mitchell. He was brilliant in propaganda and news blackouts. Oi, oi, oi. Oh, that hibiscus. I am going to get to migrants and what's happened in this country in just a moment. David Graham says she can clean and move the bins in Birmingham. Do you notice that's not been in the press? So I just want to do the Royals and then we'll get to Charlie Kirk. But thank you for your votes so far. We do have other questions that I'll be asking you in a minute. But you know when you read something in the media, I don't know whether you're like me, but I take it and go, why? I mean, they do say if you ask why 5 times or 7 times, you actually get to the truth. And I just look at some stories and I think, timing, why? Oh, is it a Friday afternoon? And what's going on with this? Critical thinking. And the Royals. So it was leaked. Harry came across and he got royal protection because he was going to go and meet his dad. You know why? Because if he goes and meets his dad, all weekend he's here, or the 2 or 3 days or 4 days that he's here, he gets royal protection. So all he's going to do is, every time he comes across, no matter what he's doing or where it is, he's just going to go, right, I've got a meeting with my dad, so I'm on royal duty so I can have royal protection. My wife's not with me. Yeah, well, we know what the yacht girl can do. Ask Andrew. He knows. Seemingly, he was first. But being a cynical old tart, I asked myself this one question. Who was leaking the details of the meeting that Harry had with Charles the Weak, the king, the monarch? Now, it was a 45-minute meeting. Bollocks. Oh, it was a 30-minute meeting. Bollocks. Oh, I can't say 12 minutes. People are going to think that I'm insignificant. People are going to think that, oh, bloody hell, man. People are going to think that Camilla was there as witness so that the press can't say some things because Charles will go, oh, darling, tampon gate. You were there? Did he say that? No, darling, no. Right, the little fecker. He's not even mine. And then there's all this reportage in the papers day after day after day. And we know who it is. It's not the bloody monarch. It's Ginger Knackers. He's feeding this to the newspapers to make him relevant so that he can flog his wares to the Americans who are as thick as pig shit. And they'll just go, oh, he's a blood prince. Well, he's still seeing his father. So he's still, he's still one plane crash away from the monarch. And there's Andy, poor Randy. All he wanted to do was get his end away. He didn't care. He knows other people. I mean, can you imagine? If I'd done the Newsnight interview, I'd be like, right, I've got 20 questions, Andrew, and if we don't get through one of the questions, then we don't get through the rest of them. But the first question I'm going to ask is, how many kids you been shagging? None? Really? And how many people do you know? Because you've been to Epstein Island, and, well, so tell me, how many people did you recognise on Epstein Island when you were there kissing the face off little girls? Andrew, mate. And by little girls, I mean underage. Now, technically, Virginia Giuffre, or Roberts, or whatever she was known as then, she was legal tender, according to show me your driving licence. I haven't got a full driving licence. I've only got a provisional. That'll do. It tells me that you are legal. You're 17. You're going to make your own mind up. I see you, says Parasite. Rusty Roaming says, Andy's sweating now. Oh, dear Lord. I'll get to that in a minute. Trump, he's now saying that Kiev can win back. We're watching a movie, aren't we? We are. I mean, Trump was like, oi, mate, Sniffy, come here. No, you're not going to win, so shut the fuck up and just do as you're told. Now, I'm off. See you later, lads. I'm going back to Kiev, where I've got more hotels to build from the dollars that you sent. Well, no, you didn't actually. It was shitty trousers, brown trousers, Biden brown trousers that sent those billions across to me. Well, wonderful, fantastic. Thank you very much. Obviously, 10% Terry, he got his kickback, and I'm taking mine. But let me stay with the royals for the moment. So Camilla was there in the meeting. I'm told, sources impeccable, that it was a 12-minute meeting. So who is it that is telling the newspapers that he was there for 45 minutes? Because it's not the Crown, it's not the monarch, it's not the palace. And it appears there's only 3 people in that room, apart from, you know, the staff. And I wouldn't talk about Camilla that way. So he just needs to keep that going. He knows that once George reaches 18, he's done. Or the king shuffles off this mortal coil. And I wish King Charles the weak, as much as I sometimes take the mickey, I wish him a long life and good health, as best he can. Because it's, you know, you don't want that to happen to anybody. But I wish Harry would just foxtrot Oscar. I'm sick and tired of ginger naggers, man. Sick and tired. I mean, if your missus, Harry, has got skills, enjoy them. Because that's evidently why she was invited to all the yacht events. And that's why Andrew was like, oh, hello, Meghan, hello, I'm Randy Andy, shall we? And here's the thing. And I've told you this little story before. I went to see a comedy, a play, if you will. Comedy. Called The Windsors. Now, it's been on Channel 4, but this was actually in the theatre, and it was live. And in this, Harry, what's-his-face, was playing King Charles. And it showed you Andy and Catherine, you know, Catherine, Princess of Wales, having a one-night stand, a drunken one-night stand. And I thought to myself, hang on a second, you'll be thrown in the bloody tower for that. Lucy Connolly got 31 months for a tweet, and they're saying that Harry shagged Catherine. And they show you in bed a drunken one-night stand in the play. Now, this may help someone who might be going through some things that might be using comedy as a defence. Harry Enfield didn't get brought back. Oi, 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 oi. Loads of money. Come here. So you're the king. We get that. That's parody. That's satire. That's comedy. But the writers of this said that Harry had a one-night stand with Catherine, the future King of England's wife. How could you get away with that then? But they have. Satire, humour, parody. Is there a defence with that? So I'm juxtaposing this meeting with Ginger Knackers and Charles the Weak. And seemingly it was for 12 minutes with Camilla present. Because Charlie's not stupid. He might be weak, but he's not stupid. And then we've got Andy in the mix. Seemingly, he was the first. Marley Grassi, that has to be bullshit. Is it though, Amalia? I don't know. That's the thing. That's why I keep telling you. Because if it's parody and comedy and satire, then of course it's bullshit. And they can say, no, 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 no. It's parody, satire, comedy. That's not true. It's a lie. But is it? Because if you look at Andy, I mean, keeping his little budgie in his pants. See what I did there? Fergie, budgie, helicopter. Honestly, I'm wasted on you sometimes. So, to be fair, I'm wasted on myself mostly. But Andy, we hear the rumours, whether they're true or not is a slightly different matter. But Andy seemingly was the one that danced first with young Meghan on a yacht event. Because we know that she was a yacht girl. We've seen the pictures. Andy H says, did you see the video of Meghan Markle twerking or whatever you call it whilst pregnant? That was a well-learned behaviour. The moon bump wasn't even real. And I have seen that video. I've seen, you know, Harry Ginger Sparrows and his dancing. I mean, well, he's definitely a white man. But, oh, white men can't jump. JKK, the phone tapping with Charles and Camilla back in the day. So funny and never gets old. I know. Tampon Gate. Oh, I wish I could be a tampon, darling. And here we are. As I've always said, Harry is in love with Catherine. Always has been. Lauren Taylor. And Meghan's always been in love with William. She wants to be queen. But it's all at that level, at the elite level. They can have anyone, anything, anywhere, anytime. Because just money talks. Nicholas says, the writers of the 80s spitting image would face the noose in 2025. Oh, no. Have you not seen... Have you seen the new spitting image, Angela Rayner and Keir Starmer on Mastermind? Oh, man, it's genius. I don't know if I can do a video tomorrow and clip those into, because it's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's all over X. But Angela Rayner, is she's now an estate agent, flogging houses. Brilliant. And then there's Sir Keir Starmer on Mastermind. Just brilliant. So... just look out for the Royal Scrounging family, the whole rotten lot of them. Have a look for Sir Keir Starmer, Mastermind, spitting image. You'll find it. Neil Cunningham, you utter wrong. Les Griffiths, I wouldn't have minded giving the Queen Mum one. Well, if she's had enough gin, Les, she was gin soaked, was the old Queen Mother. She loved a bit of the old snifter. I see you says, where can I watch Spitting Image? Try their YouTube channel. I see you. Try the YouTube channel because they're definitely online. Ghetto Defendant says, the new Rayner puppet is hilarious. So, let's just stay with the royals for another 30 seconds. According to the reportage, now I believe that the press have got the knives out for Fergie. Not at first. If you're old enough and long enough in the tooth, you will know that... Fergie just had it tight when she came into the royal family. Had it tight. And the toe-sucking thing and other things and the sting that they did on her with the access to Andrew for money, £500,000. Give me £500,000, darling, and I'll give you access to Andrew. Well, you know that Fergie today, or yesterday rather, it's been reported today, Tuesday, that Fergie's been axed by 7 charities. 7 charities. The article says that it believed it wasn't... She said she only borrowed 15 grand from Jeffrey Epstein. Now she can say anything she wants now. Dead men can't speak. But there was a full-page article in the Daily Mail today saying that the money wasn't 15 grand, it was nearer £2 million from Jeffrey Epstein. I mean... Jackie Pallow, Saturday afternoon, Cuban Pete. I used to like the way Fergie said, yeah, 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 yeah. Another one, darling? Yeah, 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 yeah. I think it was John Bryan, and it's one of my favourite quotes about Fergie. Let me see if I can... I might have to paraphrase it because I'm getting tired now. But it was something around like, you cannot believe... no, I'm not going to be ungallant. I'm not. I will just leave it there. But if she's been axed by 7 charities, the newspapers are reporting it's nearer £2 million from Epstein, not 15 grand. The knives are out for Fergie. Why are they out for Fergie? Because they want Andrew gone. And let me just say, isn't that a surprise? Considering that future King Billy was apoplectic with rage because he had to have a conversation with Andrew, and now all of a sudden the knives are out for Fergie, thereby Andrew. Oh, I say, what a tangled web we weave, if at first we practice to deceive, my lord. Johnny Kwango, remember those? Kendo Nagasaki, Mick McManus. She said she meant 15 million Just a simple mistake, of course. Where are we? Right. Let's rattle through some quickies. Quickie about Charlie Kirk. I've posted on X a video. And in this video, it looks at the shooter running across the top of the roof to get away from the location. And within that rooftop video, they ask one simple question. Whatever happened to the shadow? So you see this individual person, human being, running across the roof, and he gets so far with a shadow, and then the shadow disappears. And yet they're still in full sunlight. So the suspect running away, there was at one point, no shadow of the suspect. It's bloody AI, man. AI's not going to put that in there. Now, seemingly the university had CCTV, which had a clear view of where the gunman was situated. Had clear CCTV of where the gunman would have taken the shot from. And that's not been released. There's comparative pictures of the man they have in custody and the man picture of the man that they released to the general public to try and get them to bring the suspect, to apprehend the suspect. They don't match. So remember the pictures of the guy kind of on the stairs from the CCTV, and they went, that's him, and then they arrest a guy, and the two men don't look alike. They literally don't look anything like each other. And then, within the video that I've seen, there is a pedestrian in the far distance. There is a pedestrian that's walking almost through frame. And then it goes to a tree and then disappears. Now, behind the tree, there's no sort of right turn so that they would go somewhere else. It was literally a path that walked through the location, through the university, and the individual in that frame disappears behind a tree and doesn't reappear. Now, I'm not sure whether its dog needed a whiz, but it didn't reappear. As I said last night, I'm going to stay on this, and so is Candace Owen. Candace Owens is bringing more individual pieces of evidence to light. My take so far is I don't think it's real. I don't. Some people are saying he's in a witness protection program so that he gets away from a foreign power that might have wanted him unalived. And then Erica Kirk. It just... I'm kind of putting my neck out there, but it just doesn't feel like it's real. It's really simple. A guy shoots, kills with one bullet a man that was meant for any kind of future presidency. And then his wife takes over? And all of a sudden it starts coming out about her parents? Fucking hell. Papa has connections with a foreign power. Mama has major connections with Homeland Security. Before she even met Charlie Kirk, she was accused of child trafficking abroad. She was a multimillionaire before she met him. She was doing all of this, all of these, all of the qualifications, the degrees that she's got, the talent that she's got. And she went for a job at Turning Point USA. And Charlie was just, he's like, no, I don't want to hire you. I want to have a relationship with you. I mean, I'll ask you a question. It's not for the comments, but question. How many businesses would you do business with where the CEO or the joint founder has somebody that comes to him for a job and then says, no, I'm going to make you my wife? I mean, they're saying he's a good Christian boy. Does it say that in the Bible? Shag not any future employees. That's not one of the 10 commandments from Moses from up on Mount Sinai. Shag not any prospective employees. It done. But now she collects all of his money. She has prestige. She's the right's darling, President Trump's darling. And it doesn't... Just something stinks. I can't identify it, but something stinks. And I know people have commented yesterday and the day before saying, well, we'll just have to wait for the autopsy. We'll just have to wait for the trial. I'm not talking about the trial. I'm not really interested in the shooter and or what may or may not have happened. But how's he going to get a fair trial in America when all of this... Vixtech says, don't get your honey where you make your money. Correct. Don't shit on your own doorstep. So, I see you. Crazy Circus. Who killed JR? So I'm going to ask you another question. Hang on, what does Nicholas say? That's definitely not in the Pink Palace rule book. It absolutely isn't. Right, I'm going to ask you a deep question. 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. So the watchword and the byword is CIA assets, Mossad. They're all in on it. Foreign powers, they're all in on it. So I'm going to ask you a very simple question. 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. Do you believe we are controlled by a shadowy cabal? Do you believe we are controlled by a shadowy cabal? 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for I don't know. Dale Steele says there's so many spies that live a normal life and never get found out. Even partners don't know. I know, Dale. I mean, it is like a film. BD Cool says that used to be rife in the old office I used to work in. Caused all sorts of problems. Yeah. So, question I'm asking you is, do you believe that we are all controlled by a shadowy cabal? Ones. Lauren Taylor, Mad Matt, Martine, Peter Hart, Stuart, Random Jack, Catwoman Jones, Soul Rebel, Echoes Bunny Woman, Reg D, BDQ, Ray Hart, Pauline, Makepeace, Ghetto Defendant, Amalia, Tom Harneys, I see you says, not yet controlled. Interesting take. Everybody is saying yes, and Terry Wookfit says no. Contrary fecker, Terry. David Icke calls them the cult. It's all in language, Stephen. It is all in, and David has changed his language over the last 30-odd years. Matthew Whedon, we are all players in a very strange game. Yeah, Albert Medcalf says, by them bankers you talked about, the Rothschilds. Rusty's Roaming says, they're recruiting for spies. I think I'll apply. David Graham. Anyway, invisible cult with no name, apparently. I don't know whether you've seen this, because it looks like it was announced sort of lunchtime and it's been suppressed. Are you aware that the Epping... Thank you for all your votes and comments. Thank you. Agreed, Laird Wookfit. I was just being... Yeah, I was just teasing. Amalia says, I've got a name for them. Can we repeat it, Amalia, or does it include sweary Mary words? So this Epping Hotel migrant, Hadush Kibatu, he's an Ethiopian asylum seeker. He's been sentenced to 12 months. Now, what the reportage is and isn't, Terry Wookford, if we were controlled, do you think the show would be allowed? It depends. Because if they want you to think that you're not controlled, they would have fingers in pies and the social media companies would be allowed to allow some, not those that have a lot of subscribers. As I've said before, I'm very happy for this channel to have 10,000 subscribers. But would I want it to be any bigger? That brings a whole world of pain. Because then your head gets stuck above the parapet. Soul Rebel says they've just had a flash demo at Epping. Really, Soul Rebel. Rusty's Roaming says he'll be back out in a couple of weeks. The word is manipulated, not controlled. Same end. Perfect, Dale. Thank you. Young Bob was arrested tonight. Which one's that, King Treble 7? Terry says, they couldn't take the risk. If you accidentally disclose the matrix, knowledge of it becomes power. They couldn't take that risk. Of course. But as I've said before, I was taken off air many times because I was the story from Real Radio in South Wales. I was taken off air because they wanted me to stop mentioning illegal migration, the illegal migrants. So I said, right, okay. So I just called them economic migrants. Oi, 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 I'm getting fucking heat, man. I'm getting fucking heat, man. What are you doing? I told you not to mention them. I said, I didn't mention them. Yes, you did. The boss said to me in the meeting, my office, 9 o'clock in the morning, I told you not to mention the illegal migrants. I said, I didn't. So I sat there arguing over his desk. He said, you did. I said, I didn't. I called them economic migrants, which is what they are. Rusty's Roamings. Who's Bob, Rusty's Roamings? Again, a bit like on Sunday, people were chatting about young Bob, apparently Section 14. Okay, Bob who? Bob Monkhouse? Bob Geldof? Or is it a YouTuber? Pauline Makepeace. Young Bob was chucked out by parents. Yeah, who is Bob? Some young guy at Speaker's Corner. What was he saying? Blank Faces Live. Bit of the old malicious compliance. I love it. That's my level of petty 100%. Oh, YouTuber. Right, okay. 14-year-old. Arrested. There's Ashton. Bob Hope with no fucking hope. Bob's a young YouTuber. I wish him well. Right, okay. If he's turned up with all these migrant protests, you just... Look, this is a very, very, very vexatious government. You can't tug the tiger's tail. You can do it in comedy. You can do it in various ways. You can't do it in language. So you just have to be very careful. But let me talk about... Adam Wales says he's a good speaker. All he was doing was speaking about the Bible. He's got 130,000 followers approximately. Wow. He's been assaulted several times. No, that's unacceptable, Les. 14-year-old boy. Let's talk about this Epping Hotel migrant. Because this is a reportage. It's out there in the public domain, so I can comment on it. But what they're saying is this. He's called Hadush Kubatu. He's an Ethiopian asylum seeker. He's been sentenced to 12 months. But what has he been sentenced to 12 months for? Most people are saying he sexually assaulted a 14-year-old girl. Correct? But what they should be reporting is he sexually assaulted a woman and a 14-year-old girl. And he gets 12 months. He's now saying, oh, I don't want to stay. I don't want to stay. And he wants to leave this country. Lucy Connolly got 31 months for a tweet. He gets 12 months for sexually assaulting a woman and a 14-year-old girl. Right. Okay. Who's that? Xeni. Is that how I pronounce it? Xeni? Xeni. He's a leader at Turning Point UK. Well, Xeni, welcome to the body of the Kirk. And Turning Point UK has 60 branches in this country, as well as all of the now millions of followers in America. Matthew Wheaton said he should have gotten longer. He wants to leave the country. He's not going to be able to. He'll be able to do 6 months, and then he'll be let out, but he won't be able to leave the country until he's done 12. Interesting, Nicholas. Bob is very clever, articulate and political, will go far. PM in 20 years, if guided right. Well, you know what politics is like. Nobody gives a flying. It's every man for himself, and or woman. Oh, thank you. Well, thank you, Xeni. Let him serve it in an Ethiopian prison. Good point, does Ashton Mandaskai. He had only been in the country a few days. Jeez, oh. We need to stop deluding ourselves that we have impartiality in the British legal system. If we want justice, we have to take it. Les, I can't, for legal reasons, I can't condone that. Because anybody that's getting violent on the streets of this country, you know what's going to happen. It's playing right into their hands. Right into their hands. Bob Monkhouse once called LWT TWL because they seem to do everything backwards. Bob mentioned that on his An Audience With show. Hilarious. R.I.P. Bob. Yeah, great comedian. So Rebel says, seen a few new bloods in the Kirk tonight. Welcome aboard our merry ship. Okay, Les. So just qualify, if we want justice, we have to take it. How would we take it? Not that I'm putting you on the spot. You don't have to answer it, Les. I know that you do a lot of work for the channel in the background. But we have to be very careful in how we couch things. Because we can't really... I know that we have an amazing audience in the body of the Kirk. I know we're all critical thinkers and we don't take what we are given as gospel. And we tend to think our way around it. So Xeni says, thank you. I've been watching for a while now. Thank you. Good to see you in the body of the Kirk. And if you're a fan of the old Battenberg and Alt the Wine, there's always plenty at the beginning. I see you says, yeah, we need to talk to each other. Because I think... and the regulars, I kind of know, because this is how we interact all the time. I know. So I can see the message, the hidden message behind everything, more often than not. BD Cool says, we need to use our voices, not our keyboards. I think that where we are as a collective, as a community, is we've got each other's backs. So in a metaphorical sense, I would like plans to kind of have meetups and do some live stuff, get out on the road to meet you all in various places around the UK. But we need to have this place for our voice to be heard collectively, because it's not going to get easier. And what they've got for us down the road, including digital IDs. Are you aware that Companies House has now started to introduce digital identity requirements? This is at Companies House. They've started to introduce digital identity requirements. So they're ploughing ahead with digital IDs. They don't care about you. You're just bloody feeders, man. They just breeders, feeders, anything else with double E's in them. They just want you to do as you're told. Shut up, get your head down, start working, pay your taxes, and do as you're told. And they're going to bring this in, and nobody voted for this. And then that arsehole, well, he supports us and all, obvs. He's the backdoor man. He's... because he took us into Europe via the back door, if you're not already aware of that. I'm talking about two-tier, free gear, queer as folk Starmer. Napoleon blown apart. and USA. Yes, of course. Ah, right. Okay, we'll talk about this away from here, because it's not my intention to put anything out and put anybody on the spot. I welcome everybody's comments. Sometimes we have to be very careful, and if YouTube are, because I'm talking to you now, I don't have any way of sanitizing the comments, but YouTube does. So if ever your comments don't come through, then look at YouTube. Don't look at me. You can see me hands. You're wrong. Yeah, Les Griffith says concerted action against prominent politicians via tactical voting. Perfectly put, Les. I now get it. Thank you. And I'll say it again. We need to take it back. Concerted action against prominent politicians via tactical voting. That's why the political classes, as I mentioned last night, Andy Burnham, they're all crapping it, major league. And Andy Burnham has got a few skeletons in his closet, as far as I'm aware, and I'm not going to elucidate that point at this point, but he doesn't want to give up a really cushy life now and a nice mayoralship, thank you very much, to go and stand as an MP and then possibly get beaten by Reform at the poll. No. So Starmer is very clever. Get those. Thank you, Les. I know. Sorry, I will round this off as a gentleman. Les says, I was never implying violence. But thank you for clearing it up, Les. You know me. Well, we're both from Sunderland, but I tend to go that route as a first port of call. But the Burnham is scared. The Labour Party, Starmer has politically done the knees of anybody that could be a threat to him as PM. So nobody, they're not. Starmer just wants to stay as PM for all the free rides, for all the free gear, for all the free everything. Fun Boy 3, 4 tops, everything. Reg D, 1. So I think we'll round tonight off. Whatever I've got left, and there was, a ton of stuff. I'll have to rethink things for tomorrow because I want to get this out to you. Maybe I'll do something in the morning, stick it up there as an hour or something, so you can kind of watch it and chew the cud, work out what's what, and then we talk about it tomorrow night. Because there was the UN speech, more law and disorder, digital ID, Gen Z, Germany preparing to treat 1,000 injured soldiers a day. I'll tell you about that tomorrow, so we can discuss it tomorrow night. That will be funny. Laird Wookfit, an MP. Andrew James, you're wrong. Burnham cannot run Manchester, never mind the country, says Les. I get it, but would anybody want to give up their political career? Because there would be unless it was a really, really, really safe seat in the northeast. But even the northeast is liable for a bit of they might not vote the way they've always voted, because there's a lot of people very upset with Labour and Starmer. Starmer's toxic. He's literally killing the Labour Party. But then again, his handlers at the World Economic Forum knew that he was going to do this. Some of the instructions that he's been given is to bring that about. Tories are done. They've not really got anybody that's going to bring them back around, including the blonde-haired clown, Bojo. So I think as time goes on and the toxicity remains, people are just going to go, I'm not going to vote for any of them, including Headless Davy. I'm not going to vote for any of them. I'm just going to vote for Reform. The 34% in the polls at the moment. All of the other parties together is 40%. So I'm sure that will change as the weeks and months go by. So I think we'll save some of this for during the day tomorrow. I might get up and make a video for you. Because I've got a bit more time tomorrow than today. So thank you to everyone for your likes. We've got almost 200 people. So go on, smash the likes. Get me somewhere close to 200 likes. It really is appreciated. I put a lot of work into these lives for you. So any way that you can support the channel, just smashing the likes is more than enough. And if you smash the likes, make sure that your subscription is maintained, because from what I'm told, if you don't interact with the channel and or like the channel, then your subscription disappears, which is very bizarre if you ask me. But thank you for your likes, your subscriptions, but most of all and most importantly, your indulgence. Some of the stuff that we tackle on these lives are not easy. They're not simple. Sometimes we have a bit of a giggle. I was going to do something musical, which I'll keep for tomorrow night, because it's on my phone and not in front of me. So we'll do that tomorrow. And whatever you do, wherever you go, stay safe, be well. Don't forget your emergency Battenberg. It'll always get you through. And my name's Adrian Allen. Theatre of the Mind is not a show. It's a mission. It's a mission for the truth. From the pulpit of truth. And I'll see you Wednesday night. Thank you, Random Jack. Thank you for supporting the channel. I'll see you Wednesday night, 7:15 for Parish Notes, whatever's going on in the body of the kirk, and then 7:30 we'll get stuck straight in. Thank you very much. Hope you've enjoyed tonight. Hope you got some value from it, and I'll see you Wednesday night, 7:30.